Okay, everyone, let's just settle into our meditation posture, however you're sitting. With this meditation posture, it's just we're trying to just kind of go in, with this is our pre-bed. I think there's no one else here from another country. This is our pre-bedtime practice. So for some of you, it'll be the last thing you do at the end of the day before you go to bed. I would recommend, although I don't always do it myself, I would recommend to perhaps make this the last thing you do in terms of then not all of a sudden getting onto the iPad and watching a movie or something like this while you go to sleep. But I can't say that I always do that myself. But this would be great if we could sort of just make this the last piece of electronic equipment that we have contact with before we go to bed. So think about it and see if it's a possibility for you, and see if it would work for you, and just try it one night. See how that feels. So, okay, everyone, just go ahead. For those of you who aren't on mute, go ahead and put yourselves on mute. And one more. Bill, if you could put yourself, there you go. Cool. All right. And welcome, Steve. You made it. Well done. Okay. So let's just settle now. If you are sitting in front of your computer with your feet flat on the floor, that's one way to sit. Have the knees about a hip's width apart. Be sitting on top of your sits bones. Shoulders are aligned with the hips. And imagine your spine is a string of pearls of light stretching from the base all the way up through the crown of the head and beyond. And just lengthen. Take a nice deep breath. And go to the crown of the head and relax the scalp, the forehead, the eyes, the nose, the cheeks, the mouth. Back of the head, where the occipital bone is, relax the jaw and the temples. And just notice as you relax all of these different parts of the body, just how the face keeps just relaxing. When you think you've let go or released, it releases a little bit more. So we hold a lot of tension in our face. Then relax the back of the neck and the shoulders, shoulder blades, relax the throat and the chest and the belly and all of your limbs. Just notice if there are any sounds in your environment. Allow them to be there. Just let them do their own thing. And then come back and notice your breath, your breathing. Make sure you are breathing regularly. Notice the sensation of the air flowing in and out of the nostrils. And then just notice the thoughts that are rising in the mind. And again, just check how are these thoughts compared to yesterday's thoughts at this time? They're not the same, are they? Pretty much. So what changed for you in the last 24 hours? And then as the thoughts are arising, try not to criticize yourself. Try not to doubt yourself. Just allow the thoughts to arise. Just watch them. You can even put them in their own little category if you wish. Thinking, planning. This is a conversation I had with a client today. Perhaps you are worrying about something. So just notice it. Again, they all say if this can't do anything about this particular thing, it's a bit of a waste of energy to worry about it, but it's easier said than done, I know. And just take a step back and observe the mind without judgment, without criticism. And just perhaps there's something there that you might like to bring to the forefront. You might like to shine a light on this evening and maybe make that your focus for this evening's practice. So now bring to mind all the people of our life, our loved, our very dear, precious ones. And then there's those folks in our life who we find a little more difficult. And then there's our strangers. Due to the nature of impermanence, they can change place at any time, these relationships. And then just imagine that all these people are equal. We don't think they are, because our loved ones are the ones we focus on. Our loved ones are the ones who are the best ones, have the most potential. Do you hear any parent talking about their child? Enemies have no potential whatsoever. They're just bad people. But the truth is they're actually all equal in their wish to be happy, their wish to be free from suffering and having this potential for Buddhahood. And the mother of the one you don't like, there's always someone that adores them, thinks they're the most fantastic thing ever. It's a completely different view that you might have. So it just goes to show, again, it's an example of emptiness. It's not set in cement. Okay, so we'll do this meditation this evening for all these people of our life, by extension, all sentient beings. And think, there is no negativity that cannot be purified. And this purification process is basically a psychological one. And we create negativity with our mind, so we can equally change it by creating positivity instead. So we start with the power of regret. And as Venerable Robina said the other night, different to guilt. Guilt is more like internalized anger. I'm such a bad person, I did this terrible thing. Regret is more kind of adult. It's taking responsibility, acknowledging this thing that we did. It's kind of like also self-compassion, this wish to sort of want to try and heal that. It also self-compassion in this idea that we have all these karmic seeds that are ripening left, right, and center. So it makes sense that we want to pull those karmic seeds out before they ripen as future suffering for us. So we're doing our own gardening, we're taking care of ourselves. And by taking care of ourselves, we become then fit to take care of others. So think like this: I sincerely regret from the depths of my heart having harmed others with my body and my speech, having broken my vows, because I do not want the future suffering. I'm sick of suffering, and also regret any anger, attachment, and the rest that are the cause of why we harm others. And then think again, I'm sick of this suffering. And then think, what can I do about it? Whom can I turn to? So here we come to the power of reliance. So we rely upon, we turn to the Buddha, the doctor, who has the methods that we can use to purify. So we're not seeing this Buddha as any kind of higher power, some kind of God, some kind of person that we have to believe in. We're just using the methods of this Buddha. And so you imagine Vajrasattva above the crown of your head. You can also imagine this is the mind of your teacher manifesting in this form for your benefit. He's made of radiant, blissful white light, sitting cross-legged on a white lotus and a moon cushion as this beautiful radiant face. His eyes are long, they're very peaceful, they're full of love and compassion for you and all those people of your life. And he has a sweet red mouth. His hair is black and held up in a top knot. His arms are crossed at his heart, the left underneath the right. The left is holding a bell representing wisdom, and the right is holding a vajra, which represents the indestructibility of compassion. And their being crossed represents the union of these two, and this symbolizes enlightenment itself, the development of infinite wisdom and infinite compassion. To the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha, I go for refuge until I'm enlightened by this practice of meditating on Guru Vajrasattva. May I reach Buddhahood so as to benefit all sentient beings. So we have this little section here on developing compassion. And we start by thinking about the beings we have harmed and those who have harmed us, particularly for those who have harmed us, because the harm they've caused us, the suffering they've caused us, will ripen for them as suffering in the future. So that we make a strong aspiration to do the practice of purification for the sake of all these sentient beings and think, I must purify it for their sake. So now we come to the power of the remedy, and this is the medicine, doing the practice of purification. And we start with the body, and Vajrasattva very compassionately sends powerful white nectar, like coming out of a hose, quite forcefully from his heart, and it arcs around and enters your crown and pours into your entire body, filling you completely. And it keeps pouring into you until it forces out of your lower orifices all the harm you've ever done to any living being with your body in the form of inky liquid, as we recite the mantra. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dinapatita dira meboa sutokaya meboa sipokaya meboa anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tatagata vajramame mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva a hompe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dinapatita dira meboa sutokaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tatagata vajramame mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva a hompe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dinapatita dira meboa sutokaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tatagata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hompe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tatagata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hompe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dinapatita dida meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha ho bhagavan sawa tatagata vajramame mutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva a hompe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dinapatita dida meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha ho bhagavan sawa tatagata vajramame mutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva a hompe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dinapatita Dida Meboa, Sitokaya Meboa, Sipokaya Meboa, Anarakta Meboa, Sawasidi Mimpi Yata Sawa Kama Sita Me, Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum, Ha Ho Bhagawan, Sawa Tata Gata Vajrama Mimutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ah Hum Pe. So be delighted that all the harm you've ever done to any sentient being with your body is now completely purified, and think there's no way you could do anything but benefit others now with your body. And the next is a purification of your speech. And Vajrasattva very happily sends powerful nectar from his heart chakra, and it arcs around and forcefully enters your crown and fills your entire body, except this time forcing up to the top of your body all the negativity of your speech. And this overflows and disappears into space, not one atom left. So just imagine all the gossip and the harsh speech and the useless speech and lying, inappropriate speech, talking about people behind their backs. And all of this is purified by this powerful nectar from you. Om Vajrasappa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasappa Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tatagata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe Om Vajrasappa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasappa Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tatagata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe Vajrasappa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasappa Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tatagata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe Vajrasappa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasappa Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tatagata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe Vajrasappa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasappa Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tatagata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe Vajrasappa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasappa Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tatagata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe Vajrasappa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasappa Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tatagata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe. So now we come to the purification of our mind. And again, imagine Vajrasattva very compassionately sends powerful beams of light from his heart chakra. This arcs around and enters your crown and fills your entire being. So just imagine the same as when you walk into a pitch black room and you flick on that switch, the light switch, and instantly dispels the darkness in the room. So the moment the light from Vajrasattva's heart hits your heart chakra, all the darkness of the negativity of your mind, all your anger and violence and depression and resentment and jealousy and bitterness are all instantly dispelled, not one atom left, as we recite the mantra. Om Vajrasappa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasappa Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tatagata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe Vajrasappa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasappa Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tathagata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabala Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe Vajrasapa Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dira Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tathagata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabala Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dira Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tathagata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabala Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dira Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tathagata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabala Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dira Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tathagata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabala Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dira Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tathagata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabala Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe. So again, feel that you are so happy your mind is now completely purified. All the delusions are purified. These are the source of our own suffering and the cause of why we harm others with our body and our speech. It's all gone. And think now there's no space in your heart for anything other than love and kindness and forgiveness and wisdom and bliss and compassion. So next is the purification of even the imprints of negativity of the body, speech, and mind. So just imagine this time Vajrasattva sends light and nectar, and it fills you completely and eradicates the subtlest imprints of negative energy from the mind. Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tathagata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabala Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tathagata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabala Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tathagata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabala Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tathagata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabala Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tathagata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabala Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tathagata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabala Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ah Hum Pe. So now feel you're completely purified. There's not one atom of negativity left in your mind stream. Even the subtlest obscurations to your enlightenment have been removed. So now we come to the power of resolve, and the fourth and final and very crucial step in the purification process. And this is kind of it somehow maps on to this idea of regret. So you make a decision that you don't want to do something to harm others, that you want to refrain from harming others. It's such a beautiful thought. You know, you see a fly flying around your room and you think, oh, I must avoid that fly. What can I do to help it get out? I don't want to hurt it. It's so much gentler than, oh, this fly's in my way. I need to get rid of it. So think of something that you would like to work on. If you haven't already thought of something, rejoice in your efforts. Make sure you do recognize to yourself the progress you're making. You have to be making progress. Everyone's coming night after night. Things must be changing. So rejoice in your effort. And then just think of something, maybe 5 seconds. Focus on it. A minute. It's really all it takes to sort of get these habits changed and in motion. So this determination to not do again is what gives us strength to change. So now we imagine Vajrasattva is delighted with us and wants to merge with your mind. And he melts into white light and absorbs into you through your crown. And you think, my guru's body, speech, and mind, Vajrasattva's body, speech, and mind, and my own body, speech, and mind are the same. And now just a little bit about emptiness. You think in emptiness there is no I, the creative negative karma. There is no action of creating negative karma, and there is no negative karma created. So at whatever level you understand emptiness, place your mind there for a little while. You can think of all phenomena as being empty. They do not exist from their own side. And that's you can also think that the way things are appearing to me may not necessarily be the way they exist, or the way you're thinking about something might not be actually the way it is. So let's just dedicate all the merit, all the positive energy you've created doing this purification to all living beings, to all those people of your life, and think, may all the virtuous karma I've created from doing this practice ripen as my enlightenment for the sake of sentient beings as quickly as possible. And then think of His Holiness the Dalai Lama and make a strong wish in your heart for His Holiness to live a very long time and to be able to continue to teach. And then think of the swift return of Lama Zopa Rinpoche, unmistaken reincarnation, and then any of your own teachers, bring them to mind and make a strong wish for them to live long. Okay, everybody. Thank you so much for showing up. Lots of love, and I'll see you tomorrow night. Okay, and thank you to my hosts. 1, 2, 3, probably watching the door. Okay, thank you very much. Okay, good night, everybody.